And we're back.
Trying a new
Andrew's
thing.
choked up because this is episode 269.
This is the silver podcast episode, I believe.
That's what they. Yeah, that's the 269.
269. What's up, Hawaiian shirt guy? Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's employee
get
of the
help?
month.
On aisle 6.
Boy, they really ruined Hawaiian shirts. I didn't think about
We need a funny guy begging.
I mean, Robin Williams, can you take this bag out to this old lady's car?
we need someone really interested in somebody's weekend over here on aisle 7. Yeah, Hawaiian shirts. Let's talk about it. You're in on them?
I have a lot of Hawaiian shirts. I'm a big fan of them. I like them, and I have a lot of them. That's why I think I wear them on stage a lot. I don't want that to be like my thing, because
Make
it's
it
like,
your thing.
No, that's like, isn't that Robin Williams' thing?
Yeah, but we can have another one.
No,
now.
It's not like he didn't take from people.
Yeah, exactly. Not to speak.
This is retribution.
The dead. But he stole jokes. You can steal his shirts.
Yeah.
And I think it's time we can have a new Hawaiian shirt guy. Although Fluffy, you're competing. Isn't Fluffy a Hawaiian shirt guy?
Yes, I guess so. But he
but
reads
you're the
Hawaiian.
Okay,
he reads Hawaiian natively to me.
Also, like, Robin Williams was the coked out, sweaty, million words a second Hawaiian shirt guy. Now Gabriel Iglesias is a big fat Mexican Hawaiian shirt guy.
Right.
You can be the like long haired Jimmy Buffett comedian. You know what I mean? Except your act is totally at odds.
I'll be the white guy relationship humor Hawaiian shirt guy.
Right. You can be the palatable to this Midwest squares, but also like, hey, he's crazy. He wears a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, he slips a wiener or two in his act. Yeah, I like this guy. He's unpredictable.
You don't want to wear it too much on stage, you said, because you don't want it to become like, you don't want to get your headshot in it.
No.
Dude, I'll tell you what never to do.
What?
Never get your headshot during the 2-year period of your life where you're going to think you're going to be a mustache guy.
No,
because everywhere I go, if they're still using and I even redid the headshots because I was like, I'm sick of this. Everywhere I go, if they're using that old one, whoa, what happened? Way, you're looking naked up there. And you just want to like blow your brains out.
That's another, and I'll be honest, that's another factor as to why I just am not going to cut my hair. Because it's like, then you got to deal with the whole
new headshots.
It's very significant.
Yeah. You got to freeze your head and look exactly the same.
Let's talk about this mustache. Are you done forever? You might visit.
Yeah, no, I know you always say that because I think on the Zoom, it looks like I'm trying to grow a mustache, but like, see, this is just
aside from that,
this is just laziness. Like, I'll just go 3 to 4 days without shaving, and then I'll shave with a guard and an electric razor to get it down to like, barely any growth. Sure. But I never quite go clean shaven because I don't think Heidi likes. She didn't like. Her phrase is not too much face. No, but whoa! That's a little more. That is a lot of face. Let's not show that much face.
So are you not? You're not going to do the full mustache?
No, I don't think so. I mean, everybody went crazy during COVID, right? I think that was my version.
Okay.
Or no, did I grow that before COVID? That's a good question.
Did you have it when we were on the cruise together?
I don't think so. Maybe. Yeah. Who knows, dude?
There's no way to know. There's no way to know.
There is no way to know. In fact, we were talking about, we came back from this like family vacation today, and we were talking about like past trips or whatever with Ginger. And I'm like, if it weren't for iPhone photos having dates on them,
yep,
I would never know when anything happened ever.
Right. Oh, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it weren't for iPhone photos geotagging themselves, so like you can look at the map
Yeah.
and see where it was taken. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't know anywhere I've ever been before.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just living this completely. It's all just flying
What
by.
do you need to know? I mean,
I'm barely paying attention.
other than to contribute it during stupid conversations, what does it matter where you've been? You know?
Yeah. Well.
Anyway. What did I have? I had something.
You sent me prep work for this.
Oh no, it wasn't prep work. It was just context references. So first, I will talk about. I did a show with Mary Mack. We love Mary Mack.
Sure.
She was like, "Hey, do you want to
guest on the show?"
She's been a guest on the show. I felt bad because I forgot that I was talking about you. And she was like, "Oh, I love Andrew. That was so fun on the podcast." And
that was a fun episode, and that's one where you look back and you go, "Man, maybe guests were the way to go."
Yeah, they were great. Yeah, we had Mary and Amber.
Yeah, we've definitely done more episodes without guests at this point than with guests, right? There's no way. Yeah. Okay.
At this point, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
So anyways, I've done this show as I think it used to be part of Madison Comedy Week, but it's called Sessions at McPike. There's a big open place in Madison called McPike Park. For some reason, they wanted to change the venue, so there was an indoor venue option. So they went to the Garver Feed Mill, which I've been plugging, and it's still called Sessions at McPike, but it's not at McPike. It's at
the feed mill.
The feed mill, and I sent Andrew footage because I asked Mary. I was like, please just take some footage so that there's context of what this show was. I feel like we went to battle together.
Yeah.
So she headlined the Friday show, and then she emceed this Saturday show that I headlined. And I guess Friday it was, I should have sent you that picture. It was out front in blistering heat. And the stage was behind on one side of the road, and then there's a road where all the food trucks would drive, and the audience was on the other side. So she showed up and she was like, "This is not going to work. We can't. This is ridiculous." So she just brought the mic stand, left the stage, and did the show right in front of the front table.
Good for her.
And trucks did go behind her.
Yeah.
So we were prepping for that, and it was an hour earlier on Saturday. So the sun was totally up. There's a band playing in a huge open tent right behind us. And we're like, this is going to be awful. At the last minute, like after the show was supposed to have started, they decided to move it inside. And I sent you the video of that. There are all these different, there's an Ian's Pizza inside. It's just a big open common area, and it's an echo chamber so loud you could even hear. And it was
so like when there what rough. Is there I always like wonder with people, but like, okay, this show, you sent me the video and it gave me like
nightmares,
Freddy Krueger type. Yeah, like I could hear the music in my head, like, oh, I'm gonna get murdered, you know. Yeah. And it's all wrong. I mean, every way you can do it, it's wrong. And then there's just people loud, like where your camera is set up. The show might as well be happening in Seattle.
Right.
Like, these people are so removed from any atmosphere that you're trying to create on stage. Like you can vaguely hear your voice, but there's just like loud conversations about, you know.
Yeah.
And so my question is like with show, like they did 2 nights of this.
Yeah.
What was the goal? What do they want comedy to do here? Does anyone ask that? Like, is anyone like, do we want people to have a great time? Or are we just like spending a budget? We'll have a band and a juggler and some food trucks, and it'll be a thing that happens.
Yeah, I mean, if they keep it at this new venue, I don't think comedy will work because it has been a good thing in the past. We were in a big tent where they would do music, and then there was a time slot where it was comedy. This was very different.
So they tried to put comedy in the corner. They're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. We don't want to waste a whole time slot on
Yeah.
comedy.
I guess. Yeah.
Oh, ridiculous.
They still had the music playing. Oh, it was so brutal. And you know what's funny is so Mary's like, oh my gosh. She went up there and she was just, I mean, she's great. And she was telling me, she's like, my mind was just saying all these old jokes. It was out of my control. I didn't
Right.
even know what was happening. I'd never said those since like 15 years. And they were just coming out like it was a protective safety mechanism. So she does like 10 minutes and she's like, my intro was this next guy, he's been on Letterman, and I told him he does not have to do the amount of time that he's actually obligated to. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny Beaner. And I was like, that is okay. So I go up
Wow.
there and I,
What an amazing introduction. I love that.
I know it put me in a great mood. And so I start, and I mean, we've done terrible shows. It's just like, okay, this is, this is not going to be a good show, but I'm not scared. I'm not
Right.
mad. As long as I get paid, this is just not going to be a show that I ever think about again. And so I'm just kind of, I'm doing it. And the people that are in the front, I can see them smiling, whatever. And at one point, I don't know how many minutes in, I was like, let's see. Well, okay, what else should we talk about? And Mary was just like, she came up and she was like, oh, hey, Johnny. Hey, I thought of something. You were talking about the doctor. I thought of a bit as a new bit because she mentioned in her set list, she's like, oh, I forgot my set list. She's like, I found my set list. Do you mind if I do a couple jokes? Thank you so much, Johnny. Thank you. And I was like, I know what's happening here. She feels so bad. She's acting like I'm doing her a favor, and she's trying to help me. She's just like, you know what? I'm gonna go. And so she did a couple of minutes, and then she's like, all right, I'm gonna relinquish the mic back to you. And I was like, I know it's. And then we talked about it after, and I was like, yeah. She was like, I couldn't. I felt bad.
Well, how did you feel about that?
I was like, fine. I mean, it was like, okay, well, this is, there's no talent scouts. I don't care what. This is fun.
Sure.
All right,
No. But it wasn't something where Mary felt like I need to help this show by going back up. It's just merely like I'm going to take some bullets for this guy. Yeah. Because that would be very insulting if she was like, Johnny's losing him. Johnny's losing the Sabaros crowd in the corner. We gotta.
No, and you know, I wonder if it was because there was no feedback when she was on, but when I was up, that was another thing that was terrible because I was just getting feedback. And I talked to the sound guy after. I was like, I was trying to move around and I couldn't get a spot where what did it sound tinny to you? Because it didn't sound. It sounded tinny to me, but it didn't sound tinny when Mary was up there. And he was like, yeah, you kind of crossed the line here where the amp is. And if you kind of go in front of that, and I was like,
you should have known that.
So maybe Mary was like,
on the stage we just invented 20 minutes ago. Make sure not to cross everybody. Every show we've ever had here, which is just this once, but we've always known that if you cross this one line, the sound goes to shit. Feedback is hilarious because you never see, like, when feedback is depicted in movies and TV shows, it never happens at like a good show.
Right.
It's never like you're killing and then you get a little and you're like, whoa. It's only when you're bombing. It's like there's never been a bad audio guy and a hot crowd at the same venue. Can we see that depicted once? Because then you get feedback. Now your show, it sounds like you were bombing.
Oof.
But it happens. But like it would be nice because like sometimes you're doing well, and then all of a sudden there's feedback, and that's like might as well be like crickets.
Yeah.
Like actual literal crickets in the noise.
Yeah, it just tells the crowd, oh my God, I thought he was a professor. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing.
That's what it is. It sounds like open mic. Once there's feedback, it sounds like open mic. Have you ever had someone play crickets from their iPhone? An audio noise of crickets?
No.
I've had that.
That sounds really rude.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. And it's like, you can say whatever you want, but also they have sound effects. I mean, that's hard to compete with.
You know what I have had? I have heard actual crickets during a show, though.
You're just doing all these outdoor festivals. Yeah, you're gonna run into some real crickets every once in a while.
Yeah. That'll get you. That automatically gets the crowd on your side when you point it out, and then they start to notice and hear like, oh yeah, that really is cricket.
That's like one where here's the rhythm of that. You hear crickets, you point it out, big laugh. Then it happened. Then you do a couple more jokes. Then it happens again during like a quiet moment. You point it out again, big laugh. Then you go. I feel like most comics, me included, just go to the well one more time. Why not? Why not point it out again? Or maybe even twist it a little bit. And the crowd's just like, all right, man, yeah, crickets, we get it.
Yeah, we already gave you 2 laughs.
Because in your head, it's still like the biggest thing going, because distractions are way bigger deal to us than the audience.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we've heard everything we're saying.
Right.
We haven't riffed on actual crickets
I haven't
that
heard
many
real
times.
crickets before.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, that's what. Okay. I just thought of a
topic.
Yeah, because I kind of had a bad topic, and then that reminded me of a topic. So I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. Okay, because this is a good one. This one you're going to back me up on for sure. All right. Well, Ryan Adams. Is that who you went and saw?
Ryan Adams. So yeah. So that was Saturday night. Friday night was Ryan Adams. Duncan's. One of Duncan's Christmas presents was 3 tickets to Ryan Adams.
Oh no. Santa. Is Santa slipping? Santa has some wires crossed.
Stocking.
Santa's like, no, I still know what the kids like. I know what's hip and cool.
Oh man. He was very excited. And we brought Edie. I was just like, you know what? We'll bring Edie because I've gone to concerts with Dunk. I've gone to concerts with both, but I was like, whatever. All right. So I got 3 tickets. So I bring Edie and Duncan, and they're both into it. They're excited, but like they like the idea of it. Like he would say if he could go to any concert, it'd be Ryan Adams for whatever reason. So then he got to go to one, and I think he just liked the idea of it more than sitting in it, because he would curl up in a ball and ask me to rub his back and his hair so he could fall asleep.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I heard some kids in my class or something. I forget. Maybe it was like Duncan's age, probably somewhere around there. And they were, it was around Christmas time. They're going to see the Nutcracker.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I got like insanely jealous of these kids. Like, oh, they're going to a play, and there's like a king, and there's swords, and there's cannons, and like, oh my god, that sounds so cool. And I told my mom, I was like, I want to go to the Nutcracker, and she was like thrilled. She was like, oh my god, he wants to do something like culturally relevant. This is incredible. I mean, I made it 5 minutes. I was like, what the fuck? They're just dancing around. There's nobody's talking.
Mom, what is this shit? That's
the Nutcracker and Ryan Adams. The idea of it sometimes sounds better than the reality. But that was a very cute picture, because in the photo you sent me, your kids are dead asleep in chairs. And then there's this around them. You can probably see about 12 to 15 Ryan Adams patrons.
Yeah.
And they're all like 60 plus white people having the time of their lives. And then there's these 2 sleeping children.
These 2 sleeping.
They look like they're at like some sort of political rally.
No, they look like they're at the Nutcracker.
They look like they're at the Nutcracker.
Because it was at a theater. But yeah, so Edie made it. Duncan laid down for a good portion of it. Edie made it, but then the last 2 songs, that's why I took the picture. I was like, oh, they're both out. Is Edie just kind of tilted and
you were still rocking out?
Oh, I was rocking hard.
I was slamming beers. What did Duncan like get to hear? Like a favorite song? Was there a highlight? Was there a hit played?
No, I mean it was just him on acoustic the whole. He played from
Oh, that's a problem.
8:15 to 11:15.
Oh, for God, Ryan.
But there was a half hour. There was a half hour break in the middle, like a half hour intermission in the middle, and at the end of the first set, he had two guys come out with it. Two musicians come out. They did drums and a bass, and he played the electric. So that was like a rockin' big thing. But other than that, it was just him solo. And then Ryan Adams showed up at the boot in the middle. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get a t-shirt. I gotta go buy a t-shirt for this. This is how I'm gonna nerd out here. So I'm in a Ryan Adams like super fans group on Facebook.
Oh no.
Where people post shit. And someone posted, hey, this shirt, he didn't have this shirt in Arizona at the concert I was at. If anyone sees it, can they get it for me in extra large? And I was like, well, I got it right here. So I went in line to get the shirt for this person to send to them, which I did. And they paid me. So that was nice. But Ryan showed up at the merch booth, at the intermission.
Oh.
So that was cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, anytime you can get a shirt for $120 that they didn't have in Arizona, you got to jump on it.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. Did you also buy your own merch? Did you get like?
I got a poster. I just got a poster, and then I got Duncan a shirt. Yeah. But the poster, I mean, I have too many Ryan Adams posters. But this one is like, it looks like it's the regular concert size poster, but it's literally a half an inch shorter. So I put it in a frame that we have of just other posters. No. And there's like a little bit of space on both sides. So I was like, well, I'm not going to custom. Oh, no. I'm not going to get this poster custom frame. So
that's where like he's also selling poster frames next to his merch table. Why? I wonder why he's selling poster frames.
I'll have to get on the fan site and ask someone at the next concert to
start talking shit. Frame. Turn the whole fan group against him. See if you can just like get the Ryan Adams Facebook group to like be anti Ryan Adams. I feel like that happens on Reddit sometimes.
That's not that hard with Ryan Adams. People, because he's always he has temper tantrums and people.
Okay, you're gonna get mad at me, but remember I know nothing about music, but what's one Ryan Adams song that I would know? From the radio or whatever.
I don't know, New York, New York.
That's him?
I'd have to play it.
No, Frank Sinatra.
I'd have to play it. Or the song. I don't even remember what it's called.
It's like Happy Birthday. He sang Happy Birthday one time.
It's at the opening of Old School. That song at the beginning of Old School.
Oh, where Will Ferrell's working on his car. Oh no! That's like a classic rock thing.
To be young is to be sad. Here, it's this. Okay. Can you hear it?
Okay, don't play anymore. They're gonna flag us and take this episode down.
All right, there's that one.
I don't know it, but
okay. What about When Stars Go Blue? You know When Stars Go Blue. That was covered by Tim McGraw. A bunch of his songs are in like Judd Apatow movies, and he was like shitting on Judd Apatow and shitting on Tim McGraw. Like in the concert, I was like, God damn.
So he's a little bit of a diva.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, that sounds great. I'm glad. I'm gonna look at. You know what? Sometimes I'll literally be at the gym or walking around and thinking like, what am I need like to listen to some music, but then I always think of like the same 6 or 7. So I was like, I need like new old music. I need a DJ. I need someone to just tell me new old music, like old music I haven't listened to a lot. Ryan Adams is going to be top of the list. I'm going to
listen to Ryan Adams Gold, the album Gold. It's his second solo album. You will recognize a couple songs on it, and that's the album that like made him one of my top 3 of all time. And he's just prolific as shit. He puts out like 5 albums a year.
Okay, got it. And is he Canadian? I feel like he's
Canadian. That would be Bryan Adams.
Oh, Bryan.
Yeah. That's another thing. When people yell out "Summer of '69" during Ryan Adams concerts, he has a temper tantrum.
I would imagine. But then it's like, dude, your names are very close.
Well, and that's his middle name. His name is David Ryan Adams. Why would you go by Ryan Adams?
Oh yeah,
if there's already a Brian Adams.
David Adams.
Yeah,
that
Dave
could
Adams.
be a famous guy name. David Adams is just as much of a rock star name as Brian Adams.
Yeah.
Well, good weekend then.
It was a good weekend. So now I'm home. I'm solo. Aaron and Gigi took Duncan to Florida for graduating 5th grade. So it's me, Edie, and Phoebe this week.
Oh, the way you just said graduating 5th grade made it sound like you don't approve of a trip for graduating 5th grade.
No, I approve of the trip. I just think it's funny that we're calling it graduating when you're
right
5th grade.
There's no diploma.
There's no diploma. It's 8th grade, high school, and college. That's when you graduate.
When you get a job, they don't ask, are you a 5th grade graduate? We don't hire unless you got to 6th grade. We're not hiring.
Do you know your shapes?
Yeah. I just read this thing where they were like, kids don't, the way they teach math now. So see, you have kids who actually learn math, but like the way they teach math now, they got rid of like tricks. So like, I don't know how to put this.
They added them.
See, everybody's all over the map. Nobody knows what's going on. But these people were like, it was a teacher, and she said, kids didn't know. If you asked them to multiply a number by 10, they couldn't do it instantly. Because like if you said 10 times 70, they'd just start thinking like 7, 14, 21, 20, rather than we all know you add a 0. You have, and that's like a trick. But like she had to like teach her entire class that trick. I was like, wow, really?
Do you know that trick?
What's that?
Multiply by 10?
Well, here's the thing. All these teachers I see, sometimes I get on these teacher threads somehow. I think it's because I'm like, my algorithm knows.
Okay.
I have a kid, and so like it piques my interest when I see like teachers talking about education and maybe the problems with education or how to improve it or whatever. But all these teachers bitch and complain about their kids are coming into their class worse than they've ever been. We've talked about this before, and Aaron, I know you said Aaron works in like a specific type of school where maybe it's not the average or whatever.
Right.
But like it seems like a lot of people saying like kids now, maybe it was because of COVID or whatever, but they're like not where they should be for 5th grade, 6th grade, whatever.
Okay.
But then I'm always like, okay, you're all mad, but one of you is the teacher of the kids from the year before. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody on here complaining is the teacher who somebody else on here is complaining about, that sent them a bunch of kids that didn't learn the thing.
That's true.
They should have learned.
I mean, I should know more, but isn't it also like these teachers want to teach things, but they can't because they have certain curriculum or rubric that they have to follow.
Yeah. And they're constantly changing. I think we're changing it. It's like pick a system and just go with it.
Yeah.
It feels like I just said, we're not doing the tricks. You're saying we're only doing tricks. It seems like we're like all over the map, going back and forth. It's like phonics. Are we doing phonics? I don't know. Are we hooked on phonics anymore?
Are we? Yeah. Maybe we just wait to see how AI pans out. Maybe school won't be a thing anymore.
Well, yeah, that seems like the way it's going anyway.
Right.
So it is kind of pathetic. There's these supercomputers about to like take over our nuclear launch capabilities.
Yeah.
Like, we got to get these kids to learn 10 times 7 is 70. And it's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Brainiac is going to solve all our problems.
Do you get those things in your feed where it's like experts expect that we will be hiding from AI machines by 2035. The inventor of AI supercomputer has this regret, and it's too late. There's nothing we can do.
I know. I love that too late. Like, there's how many how many people are smart enough to actually make the machine that's good enough? There's like 25 of them.
It's not too
Just
late.
you guys stop.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
know I'm not doing it.
Unplug it.
I'm not making I'm not going to make AI. You're not making AI. So we're not the problem.
Yeah.
And if you're telling us that that if you keep making it, it's going to be bad, then you just stop doing it.
Can't we just do can we do a new internet where it's like, okay, now it's WWP.
Yeah, just move over.
Yeah, just scoot over and the AI can fucking run that one and we slowly move all of our important shit over to this new
It's
one.
like a new club. Yeah, let's just make a new club.
Yeah.
I like that idea. New internet.
Yeah.
And all the mistakes
It's
from the
not
old
connected
internet.
to the old one. You got to make sure nobody
Right.
connected to the old one.
No losers.
No leaking it.
No flat earth stuff. We leave all that on the old internet.
Yeah.
New internet, just recipes,
Yeah.
some
And only
old
good
episodes.
porn. No weird porn.
Yeah, just classic
Yeah.
porn between married couples. That's it.
That's right.
Just good old fashioned
Amateur,
homemade porn.
Yes.
And good recipes. Yeah, I'm with you. We had a big family vacation this weekend. Not that you asked.
I think I saw pictures.
Yeah, both my brothers came into town to Portland. And we cleaned up. We did all these projects at the house. I mean, we were like maniacs because my younger brother and his wife and his son had never been to Portland before and seen our house or anything. So it's like we were on deck, painted, fixed up the pressure washed, cleaned up, got the yard all fixed up. They're over here for like 15 minutes. Just a complete, like, what are we doing? Like, oh, it's nice. All that work, like 3 weeks worth of work. Oh, it's nice. Just trying to get Heidi. I'm like, can you just file this experience away for the next time you want to really show off the house? Nobody cares.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just a fool's hope. Like it's forever.
No, I know.
Same way here.
And it's like, I guess you just need something to motivate you to better yourself in your situation.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we'd probably just live in filth.
Yeah.
But then we went to Hood River area. It's very beautiful here in Oregon, and rented a house, big house, so the whole family could stay in the house. And here's the one thing I'll say: it was great. The house was great. It's kind of cool to have your own house. But man, am I just like, both Heidi and I are the same way. It's like just kind of team hotel. The thing is about a house that you Airbnb is that there's this like countdown clock. The last night. So your last night, you can't even really enjoy the last night because all you're thinking about is the morning cleaning up and their rules, where the towels go, and what to do with the sheets.
You got to take out the trash, recycling.
Yeah, and how they separate, because it's Oregon too, so there's like different glass recycling, and it was just like, and it was all fine. It was not that hard to do. It was just the anticipation of doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like the whole last night, that's all you're talking about.
Yeah.
So like, kind of I'm a hotel guy.
Is that your topic? That's a good
No, that's not my topic, but I am a hotel guy.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Should we get into topics?
Yeah, well, let's get into topics.
All right, you go first. You're excited about yours.
Okay, well, perfect, because here's my topic. One night we had this beautiful deck and this view of the gorge and everything, and then we sat out there and we're like, it's cool. We're drinking and we waited. They had a little fire pit, and we were like waiting for the stars to come out. We were like looking at stars, and everybody starts, it's a bunch of city people.
Yep.
And so we're looking at them. We're like, I think that's, like the two that we know of. Like, that's the North Star. That's the Dipper or whatever.
Yeah, that's the Sagittarius.
But then my brother pulls out this app, my older brother, and it's like it can layer. So when you show the camera over the sky,
Yeah.
it can kind of layer the stars, and it'll like tell you the constellations and everything.
Okay.
But here's what I need backup on. Constellations are bullshit. They just made them up.
You. I was going to say, who gives a shit?
Well, who gives a shit? And who gives a shit? And they're bullshit. Like when you look at like Orion's belt, there's no belt.
No.
It doesn't look like a belt. It's barely a line. And where's the guy? Where's Orion?
I know.
He's not like a cowboy. There's no like, you know what I mean? There's not like a big guy holding his belt buckle and like it does. How is this a belt?
Yeah, if you made a connect the dots out of those, you'd be missing a fucking lot of dots.
The app he was like layering, and it was like using the lines to show why that. I was like, what the fuck are we? How did they even come up with this? Yeah. And then like the Dipper. First of all, Dipper. What is a Dipper? Huh? Are you using the Dipper in the kitchen? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think that's a real thing. I just like, well, if you had a thing you would dip things in, that would be a dipper. It kind of look like that. So that'll be the Big Dipper. And then they did it twice. You couldn't even come up with like a different object.
Yeah.
Like Little Dipper and Big Dipper.
Yeah, they're like weird cups with a handle.
Yeah.
A little sticky, but not even a handle.
How about the big cup?
Yeah, the little cup. Little cup.
So I'm out on constellations.
Oh yeah.
And like maybe it's because now with all the light pollution, you know, you can't really see them the way people used to see them. But man,
I don't think that's
no, it wouldn't, because it wouldn't be helpful if I just looked up and then there's like a fucking million of them. Then you'd be like, oh, they're everywhere. I don't know how do you draw any lines with these, you know?
Yeah, but even when you see the thing shows the lines where it's like a line and then there's a line here. And then they draw like a fucking lobster around the two lines, and they're like,
right.
See? It's like, what? Yeah. What? Why don't you say it's an elephant?
That's what we need.
Going rogue with the design.
You know how Trump renamed the Gulf of? Apparently, you can just do whatever you want, right? So Trump made it Gulf of America.
Yeah.
We should just get Trump on this, but just new constellations. We're just redoing them all. No more Dipper, no more belt. It's just we're gonna look at it, and I'm gonna make what you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they're all gonna be. What could they be? They'll all just be lines. Like, oh, there! Look at that! Look up there! That's the big line.
That's the squiggly line.
That's the big line.
That's the circle.
Yeah, there's the median line. Look at that.
Oh, there's the kind of trapezoid.
Yeah.
No, I don't like constellations. I don't like people to talk about them. And the app is useless too, because then you're looking at it through the app and you're like, well, I'm not going to remember. If I look at that and I look at the sky, they don't look anything like each other. So it's not helpful.
Right. Who was this that had the app? Your brother?
My older brother, Dave.
Your older brother.
He had the free version. He wasn't willing to pay.
Sure.
Which I think is a smart move.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
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 Because he got it, so he's a nerd, but he didn't pay for it, so he's not a fucking stupid nerd.
Right. I mean, I will say, I started the stargaze. I was like, you know what it was? Because sometimes we have to leave, like Ginger sleeps. Sometimes she'll listen to stories.
Sure.
Like Pinocchio or whatever. And normally at the house, we have a little speaker. So a smart speaker. So we can just say, hey, play Pinocchio until my kid falls asleep. Well, on vacation, you know, I'll leave the phone in the room. And then I did bedtime. So then I left my phone in the room playing the Pinocchio story. Now, all of a sudden, I'm out on the deck. Who wants to do stargazing? Who wants to engage? Who wants to talk, have lively conversation? I don't know. Maybe the guy who doesn't have his phone on. like, hey, come on, guys. We're on vacation.
Yeah, get your
We
heads
should
out
all
of your
be
phones, guys.
connecting. Hey, don't look at your phones. That's lame. Let's have a human moment. Let's look at the stars. Look at God's creation. Everyone's like, and in my mind the whole time, like, God, I wish I could just be looking at Wordle right now.
I wish I could be looking at amateur married porn right now. Damn it.
On the new internet. I wish I was on new internet.
No, but I like. I mean, I like looking at star. I mean, I like stargazing. I don't need a. I just like looking at them because they're stars.
Yeah. Well, I will say I'm very impressed. Again, I've always lived in big cities, so and I almost never go camping or anything like that. So if I'm ever in a remote area at night and it's a clear night and you can really see like a ton of stars, it's crazy.
Yeah.
When you can just see like a million stars.
Yeah.
Like it is, you go, whoa, there is a lot of them.
Yeah.
They aren't kidding. They're not lying.
They just keep going.
Well, they always say that like there's more stars than there are grains of sand on the beach. And you're like, okay, that's a cool thing to say, but you're making that up. There's no way I mean, are you fucking crazy? But then
have you seen a beach?
Yeah. Look at my hand right now. Look how much sand I can hold just right in my hand. That's like a lot of grains.
This is like a million. Yeah. Yeah, they're leaving it on you to disprove. It's like, well, prove I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No, you prove you're right.
Look up, pal. How many you count? Then our car, we had a car trouble, and I was driving up this. We're gonna go do a hike, and all of a sudden it like switched to this very like rough terrain.
Yeah,
and it was steep, and I was low on gas. I don't know. Anyway, if you drive a Prius, you'll know we got the red exclamation point. So it's not just the engine light, which you ignore. Everyone knows that you ignore that.
Yep.
It's the red. They had to make one for dummies, where it was like, here's a big red triangle with an exclamation point in the middle. Like if that one comes on, you're really not supposed to ignore that in a Prius. So
what does it mean?
It means that there's a problem. I thought it meant that like our hybrid battery was was about to die or dead, which then means you have to pay like, it's like $5,000 to get a new one or something.
Jinx.
So, but it could just be any problem with the hybrid part of the engine, which it alerts you that way because they're like, if your hybrid engine burns out, it's very bad. So don't ignore this, So for us, it ended up being like a coolant pump for the hybrid engine, which was only like a $500 fix. So I took it to just the nearest place. It was this dude, and he was like, have you ever had like a mechanic really walk you through what they're about to do? Like not just tell you like the parts. He sat me down on the computer and showed me like where he could order the part from. I mean, he was like going like step by. He told me like which parts of the car he was going to take off, and it was a very low. It was a very like rough and tumble. There was like 50 dead cars parked in his parking lot and like rusted out, and it was a very towny type of place.
Yeah,
and I've never had like more of a concierge sort of experience, and he was so just like. He was pretty honest about like, he's like, I don't know, like I don't do a lot of these.
Wait, did you like that or not?
I kind of liked it.
Oh, I thought you were going the other way.
No, I kind of felt there was no bravado. It felt like he was just like, it felt like he didn't want me to leave the car with him. Like he was just being honest. Like he just was like, like he wasn't trying to take my money. He almost would have been fine with just going like, why don't you just take it somewhere else? Whereas if you take it to a place and it's bright and it's shiny and they're wearing goggles, anytime you take it to a place, they're like, you ever get your oil changed, they're wearing goggles, you're like, all right, you're not, working on the atom bomb here.
Yeah.
But I actually thought it was very refreshing that he was like, and then he was like cheap. So that's like might be my new guy. I might drive all the way to Hood River to get my car fixed. I loved it.
Now I had the opposite experience today. the second refrigerator repair guy came today, and he was pointing out everything. He was showing me what he was doing. He was talking to me. He was like showing me on his computer his little Mac. Oh, look at this. Here's the price of the thing. The price is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just a little motor. Why are they doing it? And I'm just like, buddy.
Oh, just do it.
Just fucking do it. I'm going to be in the
bill.
room over there. You come tell me when you're done. He was, oh my gosh. This guy.
Yeah. And then that was the thing at the end too. He asked me, and I've never had a car guy ask me this before. He's like, he gave me a little receipt, and he was like, "Do you want the big receipt?" I was like, "Thank you for asking me that." No, I'm that receipt,
What's
like if you get your oil
one?
changed, where it's like 3 pages stapled.
Yeah.
There's no file for that. There's nowhere that's going. That's going in the glove box
until the garbage can right up there.
Yeah, it's going in the glove box until the glove box gets too full, and then that's going in the trash.
Yeah.
So no, I don't want that.
Oof.
So what's going on with the fridge? Give me an appliance update.
Well, I thought I told you last time, maybe not, but the guy came and he was blow drying it with a hair dryer.
You did not tell me that. I would have remembered that.
I didn't.
No.
Yeah. So the guy came. He's like, "Oh, look at this! It's frozen over.
Sound good.
It's frozen over. You gotta blow. You just gotta thaw it. You gotta let it thaw." So he's blow drying it with my wife's hair dryer. This is when I was in Dr. Grin's.
Yeah.
And I was like, God. So that was, I don't know, $150 just for for him to come out and do that. And he's like, "Yeah, it should be going." And it just didn't work again. And I was like, "Babe, the stuff is not cold in here. Like the fridge is on, but it's not cold." And I looked at the thing that she showed me that he did, and I was like, "It's frozen. Look at that. It's frozen again. Like the thing in the fridge in the back."
Yeah.
And so we called an actual Whirlpool guy, like an authorized guy. He came out today, and he had to like replace the motor. And he was telling me, well, this happens when a door gets left open. If you leave it open and it's close enough, but not all the way, it won't beep. He's like, "I don't like to come to people's houses and tell them, well, this is because you left the door open," but that's what we're dealing with here.
He was like, "Look, I don't like to come to people's houses and tell them this is because you left the door open, but I'm going to need a name. I need to know who did this to this beautiful refrigerator.
I need to talk to him." So, but now it's, now it's fixed. But, and then, so it was what, $360 today. And he was talking about, he's like, "Yeah, that guy, your wife told me on the phone, the guy came with a blow dryer. That's not going to do anything. That's not going to do anything. Unless you get everything."
Wow.
And I was like,
in your wife's defense, who would have known that a man with a blow dryer didn't know how to fix a refrigerator? I was kind of suspicious, but then he got the curling iron out. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is a man who knows his craft." Little hairspray.
What is that, a Whirlpool? Let me grab my crimper.
All right. Well, I'm glad the fridge is working. I hope you didn't lose too much food. That's the important thing.
Much food because we have a tiny backup fridge down here that we transferred it all to.
Okay.
All right.
Johnny, what do you need backup on, my friend?
Well, you know what? I know we're entertainers, but you and I, we don't leave them waiting. My topic is, when you go to a show, if it says 8:00 on the ticket, you start the fucking show at 8:00.
This is more Bryan Adams.
Oh my God. At 8:07, Duncan's like, "Dad, what is going on?" I was like, "Well, sometimes they like, they want to have the seats filled in." And I was like, "Oh, he's complaining at 8:07. We're in trouble."
Yeah, you're in a rough night.
8:19, and I was like, "You know what, Duncan, you're fucking right. Where the fuck is he?" Because he's notorious for doing 3-hour shows. If we're gonna be here for fucking till 11:20, let's get it started.
Yeah,
because it just makes it worse. That's the expectation. People
that's what I would always say.
Line, and they're like, "Oh, it's only 8 now. The show starts at 8. Yeah, he won't come out right away."
Exactly.
Well, if we start doing that,
there's no end to it. So like, that's what I would always say at the comedy clubs. I'd be like, they'd go, "Oh, we're going to hold for 10 minutes. It's like, then they're just going to learn that they don't have to be here, when when you say it starts, and then they're gonna get here 10 minutes late, and the next time, then you're gonna hold 10 minutes from that.
Yep, it's just gonna keep going.
And then I would also say too, sometimes they hold a show like a comedy show. Now, this is not a Bryan Adams situation where
just for the record, it was Ryan, not Brian.
Oh, who are we talking about again?
Ryan Adams.
I've got him confused. I think I literally wrote in my notes when I wanted to listen. I think I wrote Ryan Adams or Bryan Adams.
Yeah, you're gonna want to listen to Ryan Adams. Gold.
Maybe Bryan Adams is good.
You can if you. I mean, sure. He's got some bangers.
All right. But sometimes they hold shows like, hey, we're gonna hold for 10 minutes, just let people fill in. And I just want to tell them, like, nobody's coming, man.
Yeah.
You can hold an hour, 2 hours. It's not gonna, let's just start this bullshit.
Yeah.
Who are we kidding?
Start quicker, we're out of here, buddy.
What magical thing do you think is gonna happen in the next 10 minutes to make this show better?
Yeah. You think someone's gonna see my Instagram post in these 6 minutes and then get over here?
Hey, 150 people just saw What to Do in Portland tonight, and we happened to be walking by, bought tickets.
What to Do in Portland tonight?
Yeah, start the show on time. Nothing gets me happier when they just start like right. Yeah. If I'm doing the comedy show, especially if you're like closing.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. If you have openers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what openers are for. To like go on while there's people still sitting down and stuff. That's the whole point.
That is what was nice about Ryan Adams. He doesn't, I mean, when he's solo, it's just him. Well, he's doing 3 hours. I think it's probably an ego thing. That's not.
Yeah. It's not. I was gonna say that it's all adding up to be a ugly picture. Who this guy is.
He's very self-aware of it. He even joked about it.
All right, don't go defending them. Come on, take it easy.
Take it easy, John.
I'm gonna listen to Bryan Adams. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm gonna listen to the Bryan Adams Silver album, and I will.
Next week you're gonna be like, Johnny, that song, "Everything I Do It For You." I have a new favorite artist.
I get it now. I get the whole thing.
Is he still touring?
And then I'll be the guy at his concert. Hey, dude.
But you're like sincere. You're not trying to fucking.
Hey, what's wrong with this guy? Why isn't he playing any of his hits?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's wrap it up, man. What?
All right.
Where are you gonna be?
Ooh, boy. Let's pull up the calendar. I'm
what other feed mills are we playing this?
What other? We got some family stuff coming up. We got a family reunion next weekend. I'm gonna plug Davenport, July 18th. Davenport at the Rhythm City Casino. July 18th. I'm sorry, July 18th. Davenport, Iowa.
Okay, Provo, Utah, July 18th and 19th at the Dry Bar Theater, and then July 30th, McCormick Woods in Port Orchard, Washington. So that's what we got coming up, other than cruise ships, which I'm getting on one, which we should talk about. But
we'll talk about it post show.
Yeah. Anyway,
I do have a topic for post show.
Oh, perfect. Thank God. Okay, that's it. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening to
Black Cavalry.